News for people who can't stand the news.
Earlier today, Bill Clinton was giving a speech in front of Hillary supporters when he was interrupted by Black Lives Matter activists who shouted, "Black youth are not your super predators." They also brought up the Crime Act bill that he signed into law back in 1994. Bill Clinton didn't back away from his statements or didn't back away from his bill, at least not this time. He said, "You are defending the people who killed the lives you say matter." He went on to say, he said that tougher crime penalties were added on the advice of Senator Joe Biden. He told Clinton they were necessary to get Republicans on board with the bill, which also included an assault weapons ban, more money for police officers, and funding for out-of-school activities for inner-city children. He even went on to say that some African-American groups, they thought Black Lives Matter too. They said, take this bill because our kids are being shot in the street by gangs. That's right, you got our permission, Bill, to lock up our kids. To save our kids, lock them up. Bill even went so far to defend his wife's use of the term super predator. That's right, he said, "I don't know how you would characterize the gang leaders who got 13-year-old kids hopped up on crack and sent them out in the streets to murder other African-American children. Maybe you thought they were good citizens. She didn't." You know, it's kind of funny that Bill Clinton would use this type of tone. I mean, after so earlier in the election, before this election cycle really started, he apologized for the Crime Act. He said it went too far. He said it did a lot of damage. The sentences were too long and they damaged black families. And now it sounds like he stands behind it. It was a good move. It was a good look. Now, guys, I'm not a genius. Don't claim to be one. But is it possible he's now saying he doesn't stand behind it, he's not backing away from it because he's out of the South? I mean, is that a possibility that maybe now this rhetoric that's ratcheted up, that probably will play very well in certain parts of upstate New York? Maybe, just maybe, he's saying this now to appeal to white voters who weren't so appealed to his wife. I mean, that is the constituency she's having the most trouble with. And then you got Bill Clinton out there talking about Black Lives Matter, right? I thought Black Lives mattered. It's also hilarious that he would try to infer that Black Lives Matter or the super predator line has something to do with black Jamaican drug dealers. When we all know the CIA brought crack into our communities, not Jamaican drug dealers. They weren't flying it into the United States. We did that ourselves. Or should I say, you did that yourselves. And when Hillary talked about super predators, she wasn't talking about no old drug dealer sitting in a room somewhere. She was talking about the kids in the streets. Kids in the streets who parents probably didn't have jobs. Kids in the street who didn't have access to the same, situations that some other kids had. I mean, there are a lot of ways to deal with crime, Bill Clinton. Locking up people for decades and throwing away the key, probably not the best way to go. I mean, that's what you said just a couple months ago. You know, I don't have so much a problem with Bill Clinton being Bill Clinton. I mean, Bubba was born a lie. He is a natural politician. And Hillary Clinton, she says she's not a natural politician, but she's close. She's close. What I have a problem with are the lots of entertainers who would come out and support a Bill Clinton and defend him and tell him, "Oh, you're taking him out of context." Actors like Jeffrey Wright, who I respect, who went in on me on Twitter telling me how, you just have to look at this in context, my brother. You don't understand, my brother. Suggesting I'm too, dim to get it. No, Jeffrey Wright, you don't get it, sir. I understand what's going on here. It's triangulation. They did the same thing in 2008. He says racist dog whistle crap, and she acts like she doesn't know what's going on. Oh, crazy Bill. Bill didn't mean it that way, and they keep doing that. Meanwhile, she shores up the black vote. He starts bringing in those Trump supporters. You know, the disaffected Trump supporters who like their racism and their bigoted rhetoric with a little bit of cherry on top, a little Cool Whip on it. You know what? I don't have a problem with us having a disagreement, Jeffrey Wright, but I got a problem with you insulting my intelligence. This is what they do. This is their playbook. Now we're going to pretend they don't have a playbook? You know, Van Jones tried the same thing with me. You know, telling me about context when the Clintons say things they shouldn't say. Oh, things they really mean, maybe. But it's at this point, we don't know what they really mean. I mean, when Ashley Williams was at the event and she asked a question about super predators, Hillary's campaign anyway, Hillary didn't apologize because, no, Hillary wouldn't apologize, but the campaign released a statement saying Hillary wished she didn't use that language, and now her husband says she should have used that language and it was very much warranted. In fact, black people want her to use that language because black people hate black people, and all we're trying to do is protect black people from black people. How about we give them jobs? How about that? When was the last time somebody quit a job to go sell drugs? I don't know many young people who quit good jobs or quit college to go be in gangs. There's a lot of ways to solve problems. But when the Van Jones and the Jeffrey Wrights of the world try to tell me that I just don't see it clearly, I start thinking about 1996 execution of Ricky Ray Rector. Black man that he flew. Bill Clinton flew back in Arkansas to have executed, just to show how tough he was on crime. Now, don't get me wrong, Ray Rector, he was a bad guy. Bad guy who shot a cop in the back, then shot himself or attempted suicide, shot himself in the head, tried to commit suicide, and ended up needing a lobotomy. Let's make it simple and plain. Ricky Ray Rector was so functionally retarded that he didn't even know he was being executed. The man probably couldn't tie his shoes nor count to 3. But Bill Clinton executed that man just to prove a point that he was tough on crime. That's right, that old Southern strategy. It works all the time, most of the time, with some of the people. And that's what he's trying to do in New York right now. So all I'm going to ask is everybody in New York, have long memories. Replay this video and think logically. Think systematically. Is there anything about the Clintons you can trust? Do you ever really know what they mean? Do you ever really know where they stand on any issue at any given time? They flip-flop more than a fish brought to land. You never know what you're going to get. They're just a box of chocolates. And my patience is way, way too thin for them. I'm Tim Black. Thank you for watching. Share this video with someone in New York, because I don't think super predators are going to play well, at least not in Brooklyn.